We're live. We're live. Hello, hello, hello from the room of requirement in my in-laws house. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday. And it is December 1st. It is the last community chat of the year. Wow. Wow. I can't even believe that it is December 1st. And I know I said it this morning, but like I've lived a whole day since the live stream this morning, and it just is whoo-wee. Let me tell you. So I am so excited to be here and chat the evening away with you from Florida. It feels a little weird because it feels much, much, much later than when I normally live stream because if I'm in Central Time, it is 7 p.m., not 8 p.m. Uh, and that hour between 7 and 8 felt like a really long time, which is bonkers. But it is what it is. Hello, my friends. Welcome. If you are here, let me know in the chat that you are here. I already see Lissa, Rosemary, and Rosie. Hello at Dad's Only Listening While Cuddling the Dog. You cuddle that little dog or that not so little dog, Rosie. I am jealous that you get all the squishy faced cuddles. Um, that dog is adorable. So, oh man, it has been a day, ladies and gentlemen. I did a thing today, and I actually like checked things off of my to-do list. What? Like checked things off of my December tending list, my power sheets, day 1 of December, and I'm feeling really good about it. Hello, April. Good evening. Good to see you. Hello, Michaela. Thank you for roll call. Um, Y'all, it has been a day. So the sad part about my day is I'm currently at 4,800 steps at 8 p.m. Now, as if you were present at the morning show this morning, you know that this new beach body workout that I'm doing, 6:45, is kicking my patootie. Hi, Sarah. Good to see you. It's kicking my patootie. And, I'm still very sore. Not as sore as I was this morning, which is not as sore as I was yesterday, but still significant discomfort in the action of standing and sitting down, and it's the hamstrings and the lower glutes for me. So today was a day of I did do about half of today's workout, which was mobility and stability. So it was a circuit of specific moves that were meant for stability and to help with flexibility. So it was great. But there were some things that I'm just like, I don't even want to do it. And so I spent a lot of time stretching today. A lot of my workout was stretching these legs, trying to ease the rest of the lactic acid out of these muscles. So maybe, hopefully, possibly tomorrow, I can actually do the workout, which is supposed to be upper body. My arms are not ready, but we're gonna try it. At least 5 reels with Pup coming soon. I love Pup. Yes, as Sarah says, bring on all the reels. I love it. I was scrolling Instagram and the reels specifically trying to and like all I get all dog Instagram reels, so it's catered to me very, very well. But every time I see a cute sound, I'm like, "Oh, this would be adorable." I'm like, "No, because you know what? Gracie wouldn't do jack with it." I just saw one that was like, "Give if your dog knows how to do paw, have them give paw with one hand, and then have them give paw with the other hand, and then see what they do if you give them both." I'm like, Gracie would look at me like I had 2 heads. I don't She would not do anything cute, and it would be a bummer. My dog is not exciting when it comes to doing random cute things like that. She's a special snowflake. She is a special snowflake. My friends, tell me how you are doing. How was your day? How was your Thanksgiving? How was your month since the last time we talked? Do we need to do some highs? Do we need to do some lows? What are you wondering about this evening? I am here at your disposal for all of the discussing, ladies and gentlemen. But Gracie doesn't Gracie look at you like you have 2 heads anyway? I mean, not always. No. She takes me seriously, but she's not exciting. She's just not. She's super cute. She's not exciting. She has her own little isms though, and most of them are just inconvenient. Like the ism of she won't eat unless we're playing with her, so I literally have to stop my day and go sit on the floor and fight with her for 60 seconds with a toy so she can go off and eat her food when it's literally just sitting there all day waiting for her. I pad trained her so we could leave and she could relieve herself when necessary, and she needs me to hold her hand when she goes to the bathroom too. It's ridiculous, this dog. Codependent much? Oh my gosh. So I want to hear all about y'all, how you're doing, all those things. But first order of business is I have to talk about my success for the day, which I said I already I checked things off of my to-do list. My big like I have a business tending list for the month of December. I have an email list that is up and running on a new platform, and if you sign up for it, you get a freebie. Fear not, people who are already on the list. I need to figure out how to get y'all the freebie because it wasn't like a. I wish it was once you set up the workflow. I mean, hang on. If you're a member of the list already, did you get an email from me today when I set up this workflow? Because if the answer is no, I would love to get you the freebie. I created my very own several page freebie of a macro friendly grocery list. So you have a resource for when you want to go to the store and buy things that are macro friendly. And you can get that for free when you sign up for my email list. And I automated it and I'm super proud. And it's a little thing, but it took me several hours to like complete and I got it done and I googled how to do it and I'm so very proud. So if you want to join that email list, the link is down below. You'll get just a little like pop up to like, do you want your free thing? Put your name, put your email, and boom, it'll show up in your email box and you'll be subscribed to my new newsletter. Next goal is to utilize the newsletter function, right? But one thing at a time. I got a lot done today, and that felt really good at the cost of my steps, obviously, but I got some pretty heavy stuff done today. Um, Watching this while it's cleaning up the kitchen. Yep, life is exciting. Marie, I need an update. Tell me the weather situation. Is there snow on the ground? When are we supposed to get a big heavy snow? I'm sort of kind of watching the weather and I'm like, it doesn't look like there should be snow on the ground. But when is the blizzard going to come? Has the blizzard already, like the first big snow of the year already come? I want to know the details. And I didn't think to message you. I don't know why I didn't think to message you. Uh, I'm just curious to know what's going on there in at home. What's going on? Hi is having a first service to offer overcoming obstacles, goal setting with Rosie. Rosie is offering her first course. Is that what you want to call it, Rosie? Is it a course? Um, and that's an amazing thing. She is fired up about what she is doing. She has found her thing, found her passion, and she is going head down, working real hard on it. So that's awesome, Rosie. Um, Email nothing since November 25th. Perfect. November 25th. Oh yeah, I guess I sent an email on November 25th, the Black Friday one. Thank you, Sarah. So I want to figure out how to get all of y'all the freebie because in a perfect world, because I transferred all of you over to my new platform, so you didn't have to re-sign up, but it didn't automatically send you the thing that I wanted to send you. So I might just write an email, and for those of you that get it, you might get a second one. I re-signed up, didn't get the last email you sent out though, so I figured it was best just assume I needed to re-sign up. Fair enough. No snow was like 50 today. I'm sort of angry that I'm missing the nice December and late November weather. Like that's infuriating because you know when I get home the blizzard's gonna show up. Weather's gonna be hunky dory until my husband and I get home, and like the week that we're there, it's gonna be a blizzard and the temperature is gonna bottom out. I just know that that's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be so sad about it for real. Like, oh, why though? Why? But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I was just curious if you guys had any snow because the day we left, the night before we left, was the first snow of the season. And it wasn't much, but it was still technically the first snow of the season. There was snow on the rooftops the morning that we left. And I was like, oh, good. We're leaving before the snow comes. And then apparently y'all had spring. I don't know. I don't, whatever. Minnesota is weird. Um, I didn't even know you sent one out on the 25th. I was referring to the one from back in late September. That's the last one I knew about. Oh yeah, I sent out just like a Black Friday thing about coaching and about the CBD sale. Because I'm trying out the new platform and they have a lot of like really great templates and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of messing around with things. So bear with me as I kind of get my groove with this new platform and figure out like what formats work and how to use them and how to curate them best for what I need them to be and things like that. So that'll be a work in progress, but it is something that I want to work on. It is a goal that I have, one of many. Um, Essentially 4 weeks of Oxford support and 2 mini workbooks and a 90-minute call. Excellent, Rosie. I love that. Um, So springboarding off of that and talking goals, guess who did some goal setting today and yesterday? Yesterday, I did my 2022 power sheets. I have some action plans that I need to write up, but I have the 8 goals listed. They are there. They're ready to go. I'm jazzed about them. And I started to fill in like the more elaborate goal worksheet pages. I didn't fill them in completely because it's a lot. I don't like it's a lot. I'm like, by the time I got through like the second goal of like all the thorough pages and stuff, I was like, I just don't want to write anymore. Um, so I took a break and I just filled in like the basics. So I have all of the structure of it is there, and I just have to fill in the details over the next month. And I already started a January tending list to kind of be like, what are the tasks that need to happen in order to springboard me in the right direction for my goals? And it was actually, I was like, what even do I say for like my health goals? Because my singular health goal, spoiler alert, but not really spoiler alert, my health and wellness goal for 2022 is to go through my cut, to successfully go through my fat loss phase and fingers crossed, have some fat loss to show for it by the end of it. I will be rehiring my coach. She will be doing my macros. It's going to be a whole thing. I'm very excited about it. But even that, I'm like, that doesn't even start until the last week of January. So what should my goals for January be in the meantime? So I've started plotting and planning some of those things. And then yesterday, my Moxie Life notebooks, the companion notebooks, got delivered. And so today I messed around with those a little bit and did the goal setting thing in the Moxie Life Planner where I did the whole life assessment doohickey and got, graded on that. And all in all, I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy about that. And in the Moxie Life Planner, it has again, like I think it's 8 different categories, much like the power sheets. I guess the power sheets change it to much like the Moxie Life. But in the annual goals place, they have like a little focus and then they have a box where you can write down what your annual goals are. And so what I did was I took each category and I wrote down my focus for that category. And that is as far as I got in the Moxie Life goal planning. But I'm real jazzed in Vlogmas that will go up on Saturday. I have a walkthrough of the notebooks for those of you that are curious. They're exactly what I needed them to be. I'm very excited. So we got that going. So I am jazzed about 2022. And my husband even asked me last night. He goes, if we had the opportunity, because he's not going to work anytime soon, have if we had the opportunity to like, if do you want to stay here through January? Like if we went to Chicago and came back and whatever. And he's like, or do you just want to go home? And I was like, despite the cold, I think for me emotionally, I really just need to go home. And while I love being in Florida and it's great and it's wonderful to go outside and like not freeze to death, um, I do not do well not in my routines. And in order for me to feel like I can be successful, and this call this what you will, this is definitely a character flaw, but call it what you will. But I need to be in my space and have my routines and not have anybody to bother me. Like if I'm going to do this cut, I want to meal prep in my kitchen and use my things and only have to cook for the two of us and all of those things. Like I did not come prepared to stay any longer. I have none of my filming equipment. And after Vlogmas, like I have to like film real videos again. Um, so he asked me, he's like, what if we stayed past? And I was like, I just need to get back into the routine. Just need to get back into the routine. Um, I got everything done on my to-do list except for the number one task on my list. So I think my high and low are combined. And not being able to work out until further notice and the increased anxiety over a multi-page warning label on antibiotics. So there's one thing to be said for like, yes, the warning labels on the antibiotics are important, but also like listen to all like read the warning label on ibuprofen. You won't want to take ibuprofen anymore. Like don't don't worry about things that don't need to be worried about. Like, be aware, but the likelihood of anything happening is very, very low, you know? It's just legally required to write all those things out. But seriously, like, look at the warning labels on ibuprofen, Tylenol, things like that that we take all the time without even thinking about it. And it's going to be just as long as this drug that you're on. I promise. Um, I think I have too many goals for January. Yeah, and that is entirely possible. Then remember, keep in mind that like the format of goals for me at least, the tending list is like monthly action items, weekly action items, and daily habits. It's not just like my goal is to lose 10 pounds and to make $500 million, and like it's not like all the big things happen all at once, but it's action steps to work towards the big picture things for 2022, broken down into bite-sized chunks that are palatable and easy-ish. Like some of them might still be hard, but easy-ish. Um, like there are 2 goals that I have that, involve surpassing specific metrics, and so my goal for January one of the goals for January is to figure out the numbers that I need to surpass in order to consider the goal achieved. Like, super basic, but it's still something like it is the first action step that needs to happen in order for me to even have the knowledge and the clarity of what the goal in the big picture even looks like, you know? Um, right now it seems like I'm going to have 2 main goal focuses for 2022, but I haven't done my prep work yet, so things could change. The fact that the doctor told me about it and they attached a 7-page pamphlet to the bottle is what's freaking me out. Had it been a small note on the bottle or something, fine, but they're really making sure they emphasize the side effects. And it's probably because they had somebody who had the experience and I'm not underplaying it, but I also know you tend to worry about a lot of things unnecessarily. So, like, be aware, but like all he said was don't lift weights for a while, then don't lift weights for a while. That's all. Do something else. It's fine. You got to do what you got to do for your health, right? Got to do what you got to do for your health. And believe it or not, sometimes that thing is actually not doing the exercise or something or other. Kim, hello. Long time watcher, first time on a live stream. Welcome. I am so glad you're here. Welcome to the chat. It's very exciting to have you. Um, Friends, what do y'all want to talk about tonight? Because otherwise, I'm just going to keep on rambling. So fill in the chat. I keep pointing over here. I don't know where the chat is for you guys, but for me, it is right over here, which is why I keep pointing over there, just in case you're curious. Um, what I was gonna say about the sometimes the thing that you have to do for your health is the thing that you don't necessarily consider the right thing, and a great example of this is I had a DM conversation with somebody today who was inquiring about coaching, which is awesome, and, while coaching was not in this person's financial, ability right now, we had a little discussion and kind of, like, brainstormed a little bit about what the problem was, gained weight, blah, 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 learned that this person had had surgery for cancer in August. And so I'm going to say she started talking about, I've gained 8 pounds since the surgery and this and that. And then she mentioned the whole like cancer part of it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, hold the phone. You're telling me that just in August you were battling cancer? And she's like, "Yeah, praise Jesus, I'm in remission now." I'm like, "That's great, but have you ever stopped to consider that maybe now is not the right time for you to be actively trying to lose weight? Because your body is going through some major hormonal changes, major stress, which is also involves hormonal issues that are going to cause you to gain weight to make it very hard to lose weight. Your body is in fight or flight mode as it is trying to heal from this incredibly traumatic experience. So instead of worrying about losing some weight, like, okay, maybe this whole experience you put on 25 pounds. That's fine. But you're not going to be able to lose that weight until you let your body trust that you've healed first. So, and my advice was don't focus on the calorie deficit, but focus on eating more food, but make it the right kind of food. Because we also had a discussion about the Weight Watchers mindset and how the new plan was not working for her, which is exactly what I have said. So we bonded over that for a little bit as well. But I was literally like, here's what you do. And she told me her weight. I'm like, you eat this much protein every single day. Make sure you're drinking a gallon of water. Make 80% of your food choices good, healthy, whole, nutrient dense choices. And then make the 20% an opportunity for you to have some treats here and there. Because one of the problems with her Weight Watchers mindset was she would restrict and then she would binge because she felt restricted. Right. So, and the whole food mentality thing, it was exactly the same thing that I talked about when I did the video on the new WW plan. Same thing. The same mental stuff that was triggered for me was triggered for her. And so I was like, focus on that right now and let your body heal and let your body have faith that it is good, that it is ready, that it is nourished and healthy. And then you will be ready to conquer the pounds that you gained throughout this experience. But don't try and do it when your poor body is already run through the ringer, you know? And so sometimes weight loss is good for your health. She's a little bit overweight, would like to lose weight for her health, but also, right now, the right choice for her health is not the thing that she thinks is the thing that needs to happen for her health. Does that make sense? It's a different thing that needs to happen in order to have true health and wellness as opposed to loss on the scale. Another high because of great partnerships. I had 40 to 55 come to my clubhouse at any given time. That's awesome, Rosie. I know I'm just trying to figure out when I'll be allowed to lift again because the book on the meds say people deal with side effects months later, so who knows? Wait for doctor's clearance if that makes you feel any better. Um, 10-day forecast only has light snow on Thursday night and then a warm up. Interesting. And of course, I don't get back until the week after Christmas, so apologies in advance if that's when it snows, but keep me posted because I like knowing and like I've even been looking on some like Instagram accounts for local businesses and whatever just because I follow them and I'm like no sign of snow. No one's saying it's blizzarded yet. I have a handful of friends. No one no one has posted about there being snow on the ground. Interesting. um I'm an obsessive weather watcher in the winter. Absolutely obsessive. It's it's a problem. It's an addiction. Because it is out of fear and discomfort. Like I obsessively watch the weather when November hits. Because I want to know exactly when it's going to snow. I want to know exactly when it's going to be freezing cold so I can mentally and emotionally prepare myself to be miserable and cold and unhappy. Which I gotta change that mentality part of it. Like, I'm real pumped about, like, being at home and, like, what are some of the things that I can put in place? If I really can't like, if it starts snowing for 3 days, we have the option for grocery delivery. I have a husband who's working from home who could go do a grocery pickup. I just thought of that, actually. And that just made my life a whole lot easier. Like, I'm the person who's already worrying about the implications of the winter, and I'm not even there yet. I'm in Florida, but this is how I function. It's awful. Um, Better take time off and lift than tear a tendon. That's absolutely true. I gained so much weight from medications, but it was necessary, and I'm not overly concerned. I'm focused on eating well and not restricting. And that is very important. There is a balance that has to be done with all of it. Cause like what did I work on over the last almost year, right? In May, I started my reverse diet and I learned to like eat carbs. And like I talked about this morning, I had to eat carbs for sustained energy. And y'all, my energy is actually doing really well, and I have eaten 180 carbohydrates today. I'm peppy. I didn't think I would be. I started to lag a little bit, but then I ate dinner and let it digest. I had rice with dinner, rice and broccoli, real clean, good stuff. And my energy is back. It's great. Um so I Renee, you're gonna have to be more specific because I have several Renees. Which Renee are you? Um But, oh, everyone's showing up. I love this. Makes me so happy. I forgot what I was saying. The carbohydrates. It's all good. Oh, so I'm learning to like eat the carbohydrates. The carbohydrates are good and they fuel you and you feel better when you do it. So I'm learning stuff like that. I'm learning that like nothing is off limits. You just have to be in the balance. But at the same time, I'm in this mindset now, right? And in January, my coach is going to give me numbers that are going to be lower than what I have eaten in a very long time, which is what needs to happen in order for me to reach my weight loss and fat loss goals. But it's automatically going to imply some level of restriction, but it's not going to imply dramatic restriction, because the reality is I've learned how to fuel my body well. I've learned what functions with my body and what doesn't. And I've learned that I can be satisfied on half of a huge chocolate bar or a serving of M&Ms or, things like that. Like I've taken this time to learn, and hopefully the result of that will be feeling less restricted, despite the fact that there will be some level of restriction when the cut happens. It seems like November and December have been milder and snow hits in February and March. Yeah, I noticed that. I'm convinced that's the whole global warming thing. Like winter used to start at the end of November and start in December, and like we'd have a white Christmas. And the last, I don't know, 5 years, I don't know that we've had a white Christmas, or we've had a dusting for Christmas, but like we haven't had like the first like big, or we've had the big heavy snow. 2 years ago in Minnesota, we had the big heavy snow in like October, and then it melted. I don't know. Um, ugh, winter. I end up with sad most years. Me too. Me too. And I have a legit allergy to the cold. I break out in hives. It doesn't matter how many layers I wear. That sounds miserable, Jess. That sounds miserable. So I don't have an allergy to it, but the extreme cold, I have a nerve disease, right? So if you have the nerve disease, which deadens the nerves, and then you have cold, which deadens the nerves, I cease to function. And literally in my house, which is kept at a reasonable temperature, but like there are some things you can't avoid, right? Like the windows aren't perfectly sealed, so some of the cold air gets it. I get cold. It's like I'm a lizard. I am convinced that I'm actually cold-blooded, because the second that it drops into the 30s, my whole body changes and I freeze. And especially at night, especially at nighttime. I am frozen little popsicle, and there's nothing I can do about it. I have an electric blanket. I sleep in all the layers. I have a foot warmer in my bed. And one of the things I notice, especially when it's cold, when I'm up in my office, is I have a really hard time typing and using my hands, which is a real pain when you have stuff you want to do on the computer. But I just noticed that like everything slows down. So if I go outside in the cold, everything slows down even more. And it's brutal. I was not built for winter. Officially switched to calories and macros after 6 years of Weight Watchers. Wendy, I am so proud of you. So excited for you. Um, I fully 110% support that decision, and it's so funny to me how many people, like, don't get me wrong, there were plenty of wonderfully kind comments and conversations that happened out of the video that I did, but holy moly, people are so offended when my opinion is different from theirs. Not the facts, but my opinion, and somehow my me voicing my personal experience with this new program triggers them to have to defend themselves and be like, "You're a horrible person because you tried it and you didn't agree that it was good." Like, baffling to me how many people were like, "Oh, you're the worst person ever." I was like, "Who hurt you? Oh my goodness." But honestly, truthfully, the reason that I only gave it a try after a day, or like I stopped after 1 day, was how I could feel like the emotional side of it. I passed the test. My test, in the video I said this. My test was, here are my fat loss macros. Here are how many points I have. Can I reach both goals? That's all I wanted to know. I wanted to know if I could use reasonable, sustainable fat loss macros based on how I am trained and getting certified, if I can meet those macros and still follow the plan legitimately. And the answer was yes, but. And I go into all of the emotional implications and how I literally spend half of my day on less than 300 calories of chocolate. And like it's a whole thing, right? So ultimately, I think that the plan is on its way, but not there yet. And because it's not there yet, I'm not giving it more than a day's worth of my time. And I laud anybody who decides that it's not for them. If it is for you, and I know there are people that it is for, that's fine. It's not for me. Um, the weather here has been crazy. I don't wear a coat when I went out today. Wore my sweatshirt. I use a sun lamp and it helps with SAD. Yeah, I make sure that so one of the things I do is I make sure that I take vitamin D and I've been taking vitamin D regularly because it's also supposed to kind of sort of help you with COVID and COVID prevention. And so I figure what could it hurt because I've been taking vitamin D with some regularity anyway. So I just am very intentional about taking it every day. And vitamin D levels also help with seasonal affective disorder, so it's something I'm gonna just keep on taking straight through the winter, and that's great. It'll be beneficial on multiple levels, it sounds like. Um, how dare you have an opinion? I know. I'm a horrible person for having my very own opinion, which is hilarious because the other people disagree with me because of their own opinions. Like, it's their own opinions. I'm like, "Do you not realize that the reason we're butting heads is because you have an opinion and I have an opinion, and it's okay. It's okay that we have different opinions. It's okay. Like, it's okay." I love macros. I'm no longer starving myself. That makes me so happy to hear, Wendy. That makes me so happy to hear. Did you have a transitional period? How was the transition from points to macros? How did you feel about it? What was the easiest part? What was the most challenging part? I would love to hear your feedback on that. That's very, very interesting to me. Um, just because it helps me out when I help with people who have had the lengthy Weight Watchers history, because I've been there. I've been there too. I know. I've done literally every plan that they've offered except purple. So, it was good. My husband helped me. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad. Yeah. The magic of macros is so here's the basics about macros, right? Macros is dictating how many calories go where. So, for example, macros is like calorie counting on steroids, right? Mathematically, your macros make up your total number of calories. Simple mathematical equation. But what you do is let's say your calories are 2000 calories, right? Instead of saying you can eat 2000 calories of whatever the heck you want as long as you hit 2000 calories, instead it tells you sort of how to distribute those calories. Most importantly, and most primarily with a protein goal first. So you have to emphasize that protein goal, which helps you make more protein heavy choices. And then you have a fat goal, which, yeah, some of it can be used on the good, fun fats, but also it's important to be mindful about our um, healthy fats. And then you have carbohydrates, which, yes, some of them can be used for sugar. Do you know where some of my carbohydrates came from this morning? Bowl of frosted Cheerios. Not joking. 2 days in a row because I needed carbs. I had a protein shake for breakfast, and I'm like, "Girl needs carbs because these muscles are hurting, and carbs helps me repair." So, protein biologically helps me repair, but I have found when I have more carbs in my system, when I do heavier workouts, I find that my pain is less and my recovery is more effective. So it's very clear to me that my body uses carbohydrates as energy very efficiently. I've also as much as my weight has fluctuated over the years, I have never had blood sugar issues. I'm like diabetes runs in my family. So every once in a while, my mother would test me just to make sure my A1C is always beautiful. My blood glucose is always beautiful. So to me, that tells me that my body deals with carbs very well and very effectively, which is good to know. And for another body, that could be different. You still need carbohydrates, but the levels could be different. So where I'm hanging out at 200 grams of carbohydrates in maintenance, maybe someone else only needs 150 to feel their best, their most optimal. But that's what macros does is it dictates where your calories go to a point. If you have some fat and carbs left over and you want to spend it on a candy bar, go ahead and spend it on a candy bar if you would like, as long as you have fueled your body appropriately, met your protein macro, gotten your vegetables in, things like that. So it's really just a way to unrestrict because everything has macros, so you can fit everything in to a point, right? You can't just have a day of binge eat all the things, or if you forget to front load some protein, you will find it very easy to be over on carbs and fat and under on protein. So you have to be diligent about it. But at the same time, like I said, my huge chocolate bar cost me 10 points on Weight Watchers, but it was really like I'm throwing random numbers out there, but like 15 carbohydrates and 11 grams of fat. Like, you know, so it all can fit in some way. Macros is the safest option for me, it seems. I almost felt like I was cheating on Weight Watchers. We all go through it. We all go through it. You are not alone in that. There's definite guilt when you leave a program that you have done for so long. Especially like my guilt was twofold because I created this subscriber base based off of my Weight Watchers content. So imagine how hard it was for me to let go of, and your channel is Weight Watchers Wendy, so like you probably have the same issue, right? To let go of the thing that I literally built a following on because it was the right thing for me. It's hard. It's hard to let it go, but it is also freeing to know that you are making the choice that you need to make for you. Um, you could have kept going, but it would have cost you your mental health. If someone stays okay mentally, then they can go for it. Exactly. Exactly. And some people are thriving on this plan, and I think that's great. I think that is wonderful. For me, after doing all of the work to be like, you know what? You can eat the regular nut butter. You can eat the this. You can eat the that. You just have to be diligent about it and, do the macro math. For me, being told that my stupid huge chocolate bar, which, by the way, as you guys know, I fit into my day regularly, easily fits into my maintenance macros, right? Easily. And it's probably going to be one of my choice desserts for when I'm in my cut too, because it's super clean. But so for something that I easily worked into my day every day, for that to just, even though I earned back my steps for the weekly points, like I managed to end up spending only 3 weeklies that day. I earned 5 points back from my vegetables and fruits and my water, or vegetables, I guess. And then I earned 7 points for my weeklies for my activity that day. So I spent 20 I spent 20 points on good, clean, healthy food. 0 point food, all that jazz. I spent 5 points on 3 or 2 little Snickers cubes, and it was the 10 points for this little bar of chocolate, this half a bar of chocolate that I worked into my day every day, for them to tell me, "Actually, this is gonna cost you 10 of your base 20." Was just it did not compute in this new brain that I have. It did not compute. I'm like, "How is that okay? How is that okay?" And the other thing that did not compute for me was the coconut oil, because we have found studies have shown that saturated fats are not the problem, y'all. And coconut oil is actually one of the healthiest fats for you. So why in the name of God is it 8 points for a tablespoon? Why? Now, I do have in our Patreon, we had a discussion going when I post this and whatever. And like one of the ways that you could manipulate the plan is like not track 1 or 2 servings of your fat. So like have the tablespoon of coconut oil throughout the day and just don't track it. And you'd be closer to your calorie goal, you'd get your healthy fat, and it would not negatively impact your thing. But then that's when you technically start to manipulate the system. And I was doing the system by the book, and it just was not right. General calorie counting and points just feed into that extreme restricting. That's what I found for me, but I know the people who can track food without it messing with their mental health. I'm so glad your dad channel was a good influence. I'm so glad. That is what I aim to be, and that is why I've been on my high horse about what I'm learning. As I learn new information, I share the new information with you. So at the time when I was Weight Watchers focused, I shared all of the information I knew about Weight Watchers and how to manipulate it and what the best food choices were to help you stay on plan and be successful. I shared all of that with you. And then the second I learned I could switch to Points Plus over on the Healthy app, I was like, actually, this is a better choice. Let's go do this. And I gave you all of the information about that. And then when I switched to calories, I was like, oh, this is actually the better choice. And now I'm into macros. It's an evolution of nutritional growth. is what it is. And I will be very interested to see how my first like official attempt at full-blown macro fat loss goes after a reverse, after a time in maintenance, all of that. And I'm anticipating that I don't know what speed the weight will come off. I have no idea, but I'm anticipating success. And won't it be fun when the people who have, I don't want to say made fun of me, but who have chastised me for being like, oh, now you do macros. Won't it be fun for them to see, like, oh, actually, it works? Actually, it works. Um, which, oh, leads me to another thing. I don't know if you guys saw my Instagram story yesterday about what my friend Jordan was sent a message about from the Thrive MLM. Literally, someone messaged her to sell her the patches. It's the patch company. To sell her these patches. And after they saw, like, she was posting her food or whatever, and this person, as most of the MLM coaches do, and don't get me wrong, I'm not completely knocking MLMs. I hate the business side of MLMs, but like I also love Beachbody on Demand, so I can't be totally hypocritical. But this person messaged her like, "Oh, what do you do for your food?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm tracking calories and macros." And this person had the audacity. Actually, let me read it to y'all because for those of you that didn't see it, it's worth me just reading because she screenshotted it to me and she's like, "Can you believe that this is what this person said to me?" I screenshotted it. Where is it? Do, 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 do. Because this is just oh, really? This is what she said when she said, "Oh, I do macros and calorie tracking," right? "Oh, really? I'm not sure how much you know about nutrition, but it's more than just what you eat. Counting calories and macros doesn't really work or get to the bottom of your issue. The DFT patches I use actually burn fat so you don't have to diet. You just live your life and supplement with vitamins, which you can get where I get the DFTS, the patches. I just wanted to throw that out there." This person literally says calories counting and macros doesn't work or get to the bottom of your issue. The patches I use actually burn fat so you don't have to diet. Ladies and gentlemen, as we have mentioned not 2 minutes ago, I am here to keep you informed. Never fall for that. Never, ever, 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 ever fall for that. Please, I beg you. I beg you. If you learn nothing else from my channel, do not fall for that sort of crap marketing. What kind of person, what kind of company thinks that it is okay to be like, actually, my patch can burn fat? There is no patch that can burn fat for you. Calorie deficit. That's it. There's a lot more nuance to it than that, like, where is your metabolism? Have you metabolically adapted to a lower calorie intake? Do you need to reverse, spend time in maintenance? There's a lot of nuance to it, but even the new book that I'm reading about metabolism says at the end of the day, the end this is the person who, has the philosophy of eat more, exercise more, or eat less, exercise less, don't eat less, exercise more. Like that this is a whole new thing that I'm looking into and whatever. Even this guy is like, the only way you lose fat is through calorie deficit. That's it. So if Thrive people show up in your inbox, because beware, because it is the time of year where that's going to happen, because people are going to prey on the people that want to lose weight in the new year. And don't get me wrong, you like I'm going to be offering a coaching deal and stuff in January and whatnot too, because January is the time to start it up. That's when I'm starting my cut too, right? Everyone wants to lose weight in the new year. But please, please, please do it the healthy way and not with any quick fixes or pills or anything like that. Anything like that. Calorie deficit. So you don't have to diet. It's a selling tool. I know. I know. People want to be told that they can eat exactly the way they ate and lose all of their fat. But here's the thing. The way that you ate is the reason you need to lose weight. So if you don't change that, the thing is not going to change. That's that's the whole thing. That's if you don't change, nothing's going to change. So, but people, for whatever they want to bless them. They want to believe that they don't have to make any changes and the change will happen. But that is just fundamentally not true. That's fundamentally not true. Um, I had something else, and now I can't remember what it was. Shoot, it was a good point too. Um, Weight Watchers still think saturated fat is evil because saturated fat is solid at room temperature. Yes, yes. And it doesn't matter because the inside of our bodies is not room temperature, y'all. I think saturated fat comes from WW2 or something because they had to ration butter, so they created margarine and lied to people that it was healthier. That could be it. And don't get me wrong, I don't know all the ins and outs, but what I do know is that saturated fats are fine. It's fine. What is more important is the different kinds of fats, and there's all sorts of information like the PUFAs, and I can't remember what they stand for now, but I was reading another book about it. I'm all up in the books, y'all. I'm all up in the books. Kim, good to see you. Hi. Um, but like for example, in terms of fats, it's not about the coconut oil versus the olive oil. We know that coconut oil is a healthy fat. We know that olive oil is a healthy fat. The fat that we have to watch out for is the things like canola oil and vegetable oil and soybean oil. That's the stuff that's actually causing a problem because it messes with the omega 6s and the omega 3s and the balance of things in your body, right? But saturated fat, the coconut oil, is not the problem. Um, the saturated fat fear, I mean. Now I need a new YouTube, Instagram name. Yeah, you do. Um, I've been really into this podcast that talks a bit about diet culture and the like, and they talk a bit about him. They also did an episode on WW and a two-parter on Rachel Hollis. Oh, interesting podcast. They cover all of it. Are the patches are speedballs? I don't I don't the patches are dark magic. I don't know. Like, give me a break. Give me a break. How dare you try and tell me that this patch is gonna I'm trying I want a visual. Like this dopey patch and slap this on and all of a sudden I don't have to diet anymore. I don't have to watch what I eat. I can eat junk and lose weight because of this patch that you sold me for probably 5,000 times what it's worth. I don't think so. Be careful, y'all. Be careful. In terms of nutrition, the only thing you really do need. You don't need anything from an MLM, but if there's one MLM product that I will tote and I will get behind, it is the Beachbody On Demand program. Not Shakeology. I couldn't care less about Shakeology. You can get better, higher quality protein powder somewhere else. You don't need their supplements. You don't need their recovery shake. You don't need the challenge packs that the coaches are trying to sell you. But the workout plan, I can get behind. That's the only one. It's the only one. Um, Saturated fats, like carbs, are delicious. Of course they are. Polyunsaturated fatty acids. PUFAs, yes. Polyunsaturated fatty acids are PUFAs. Those are the ones that you should be avoiding. And saturated fats on carbs are the best. PUFAs and MUFAs, yes. To give me a better pick, who are you living with while you are in Florida? We are living with my in-laws. My in-laws live in South Florida. They are empty nesters. And so whenever we want to come down here for a while, they've got a couple bedrooms. So my husband and I stay here. And it's great. It's awesome. I do the cooking. My father-in-law came home last night at stupid late after I had made some chicken dinner or whatever. And he came out and he's like, "Do you know how nice it is to have home cooked food?" Because my mother-in-law doesn't really cook. He's like, "It is so nice to have good, healthy home cooked food when you're here." Because they pay for the groceries, I cook the food. Because I'm gonna do it for my husband and I anyway, so it's just making bigger servings and everything. So that's who we're hanging out with. My sister-in-law has come and gone and will come back hopefully before we leave, and we'll do a little family Christmas before we go up to Illinois. But yeah, so that's who we're hanging out with, and that this is the study full of piles and piles of pictures and albums, and I don't even know what we call it, the room of requirement, because you name it, I can probably find it in here. What did I see? Yes, like we're talking like, look, if I need a mint, here's one right here on the desk. Like you just don't know. You just don't know. What kind of other random? Oh, the bowling pin is gone, y'all. We got rid of the bowling pin. But like that's kind of what this room is. So, but it is safe and out of the way and quiet, a quiet place for me to do my live stream. So, um, I like the company where you wrap something around your stomach and sure. Oh my gosh, the it wraps, y'all. The, no, don't do that either. Please don't do any of it. Don't do any of it. Calorie deficit, nutrition. I would rather you do Weight Watchers than any of the MLM products. except for Beachbody on Demand. um, It's called maintenance phase. It can be a bit of conspiracy theory when they talk about the history of the diet industry, but it's fascinating. Interesting. I must go now. I just wanted to thank you and share my new plan. Thank you for popping in, Wendy, and thank you for sharing. I am so, so proud of you. Good for you. I want to shake weight. Oh my god, the shake weight. I forgot about that thing. Now, to be fair, for my arm muscles, the shake weight might actually do something. Like, honest to God, it might do something for me, but that's because I literally have no functioning tricep strength. So, um, the I can't even do the motion, y'all. I can't. The shake weight. Oh, the shake weight. I forgot about that. I can't believe you didn't name Return to the Room of Requirement. I mean, I didn't think about it. I wanted the thing that would be like, hey, it's the last one, guys. So if you saw it in your news feed, you'd click on it, you know? People might be disappointed if they came here expecting the Room of Requirement and saw this. You know? Not that, I mean, what would they expect? I don't know. But oh, the shake weight. That is hilarious. All right. I thought about it, but before, but then I completely forgot. Yep. Um, this is great nutritional conversation topic, my friends. What else? What else? What else do you want to talk about? What else do you want to elaboration on? The chat is your oyster, and I want to continue to elaborate. But that was an excellent topic of discussion. Big fan. Oh, the pain. Oh, the pain. Can you imagine if the shake weight is the key to getting your triceps to work? I mean, I'm desperately looking for like a for me it could work. And here's why. And I've never held one, so I don't know. But like if there is in fact a way to get resistance for the push down motion, it could act like it could work for me personally. For the rest of y'all with reasonable arm function, don't. But like I could see how it could maybe possibly. Also, I could just pick up dumbbells and do kickbacks. That would do the same thing. So, there's that. But that would be really funny if that was like the key to unlocking my triceps after all these years was this stupid shake weight. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, the shake weight. Manduum's workout. Electrostimulation to melt fat. It's the new thing. You don't need to do a thing. Oh, this yes. So here's the thing. There are things called tens units. Tens units, and I'm almost positive, correct me if I'm wrong, folks, but the ab one, it's a glorified tens unit. It's a glorified tens unit. What does the tens unit do? It sends electricity to the muscles to make them contract. Theoretically, does this mean that the muscle is contracting and doing work? Yes. Yes, it does. For a long time, we put tens units on the back of my arms to try and get what was there of my tricep muscles to activate. Should I probably get a new tens unit and continue to do that? Yeah, I probably should. Um, but it's not going to like even if in the long stretch that maybe it tightens up your muscles and helps you develop let's say it develops a six pack again. If you do not change the way you're eating, that tens unit created six pack, first of all you have to consistently do the thing, otherwise you're going to lose your toning, right? But also it's still going to be stuck under that layer of fat. It's still gonna be stuck there. And unless you change your diet so you lose the fat, you ain't gonna see those abs. You're not gonna. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Um, so yeah, the ladies and gentlemen, if you, and I'm telling myself too, I'm telling myself as I'm feeling a little fluffy today, I can see in my cheeks, I'm like, oh, good grief. But that's okay because my cut's coming. Right now it's about maintenance and building and getting those muscles and all that jazz. If you're not willing to do the work, you're not going to have the results you want. And this is what I tell my coaching clients too. I have had a handful of clients have showed up excited to start, but when they realize that they actually have to change
Sorry, could you say that again? My apologies.
No, I'm not talking to you, Siri. Good grief. Um, when when I give them their macros, when I start to regularly check in and be like, "Hey, why aren't you tracking? Hey, why aren't you getting your steps in? Hey, where's your water?" All of a sudden they realize they have to do the work and it's too much for them. Like the motivation was there, but they're still not willing to do the work. And in order to make any lasting, sustainable change, you have to be willing to do the work for it. You have to be willing. None of these quick fixes work. None of them. None of them. Don't forget about the shake weight for men. Any more ideas for rewards when points are accomplished? Any more ideas for rewards when points are accomplished? What do you mean? Like rewards for um like meeting your goals, for weight loss, for whatever. I did I should tell you I told Instagram this, but this I think kind of ties into it. But yesterday, my youngest sister, was Googling weight loss or like non-food related ways to reward yourself for weight loss. And she sends me a screenshot of the Google search results. And she goes, I was searching for this today and look what I found. And the first thing, the top result, and like, you know how Google sometimes will like break down some blog posts or whatever, like the first one will be like, this is a brief synopsis of what this article says, and it'll have a little snippet of it is a post called 45 Ways to Reward Yourself Without Food from my website in 2017. My website. She's like, this is an old post, but that's kind of cool. And it's always fun for me when the baby sister gives you a little bit of clout. Like all of a sudden you like prove yourself to your youngest sister, the little princess who's like, no, my sisters can't possibly ever be right about anything or whatever. And it was just so funny that she said, she's like, that was kind of cool. And I was like, that darn right, it's cool. Your sister knows what she's talking about. Um, there were a lot of people who said, let me pull up the Instagram story. A lot of people said one of their favorite ways to reward themselves for weight loss is new workout clothes. And new workout clothes is twofold because you get something new, something that fits, something that makes you feel cute, but also it's functional. You want to go work out in it because it's new workout clothes. I have to find the story. Hang on. Someone else posted that buying a new candle is a great way to do it, and so, like and then you get to, like, burn it every morning. So one of the things that I told my sister was, sorry, apparently I can't multitask. Archive. Getting there. I'm trying to find the actual post that I posted. Do do do, ba do ba do ba do ba do. Here we go. A no chip manicure, candles, so when you're getting ready in the morning, it feels good, it smells good, exercise clothes, new shoes, workout clothes, a home manicure, buying new clothes. Everyone is in on the new clothes business. Put money in a jar and use it for new workout clothes. I personally do $3 a pound. Pat myself on the back, buy a new nail polish, or let others know of my success. Um, so one of the things I told her is because she's very focused on the number, and of course I like seeing progress on the numbers. The numbers for me is going to be one of the metrics I use to measure success, but it's also crucially important that we focus on the consistency of our habits despite what the scale says. And so I even preached this to my sister yesterday, and I was like, look, having rewards for yourself for weight milestones that you've hit are a great idea, but you also need to reward yourself for accomplishing the steps that you are taking to get to your weight loss goal. So, for example, reward yourself for something every 5 workouts, or, if you stick to your plan for an entire week, or whatever the case may be, something that is completely and totally within your control, as opposed to just relying on the number on the scale. Because the reality is, the scale is fickle and the scale can fluctuate because you looked at it funny, you know? Like, not literally, but you know what I mean? Like, that's how simple it feels, right? I had this conversation with someone just yesterday. Someone asked me, how do you feel about daily weighing? And I said, I am pro. I'm very pro daily weighing, and here's why. Because if you can weigh yourself daily, you are more apt to see the fluctuations. You are more apt to become neutral to those fluctuations. Instead of relying solely on one day a week, like my weigh-in day used to be Friday, and that how many of us allowed weigh-in day to dictate our mood, right? Scale went down that week, we were in a great mood. Scale went up, we were not in a great mood, and we chastised ourselves for it. When the reality could have been, if your scale went up a pound that week, the reality could have been you might have been weighed in a pound and a half down the day before, but something happened on Thursday that resulted in a spike in the scale on Friday. Daily weighing neutralizes that. So I think that that is also very important to take some of the power away from the scale. It allows you to see your fluctuations, see the habits, see the trends. Um, so that's another thing I'm very pro that as well. So my sister ultimately ended up saying she's going to put in $1 every time she does a workout, I think. So she has something for her consistency, and then when she hits her goal, she's gonna take that money and go buy herself something nice. But she also has some goals for um when she hits weight loss milestones as well. So she set both of them. So she has a consistency goal or a consistency reward and a milestone reward. Some of her milestone rewards are, because we were on the topic, let me see if I can find it. And I love some of these too because she's really looking for budget-friendly options. Like, she was looking for not spending money. Like, that was her goal, and I was like, I know of a lot that involves spending money, so, like, maybe if she continues to update me on progress, the older sister might send her a little something so she doesn't have to spend money, but a bubble bath, mani-pedi at home, and then, like, way later, there's mani-pedi at a salon, so she splurges on herself. Spa day at home, color, game night, watch a favorite movie, take a weekend off, window shop at the mall. So not buy anything, but just go and enjoy some time at the mall. Spend a day crafting, cook your favorite guilt-free meal or your favorite meal guilt-free. So that is technically a food reward, but like if even if you're cooking it, like you can make it the healthier option, you know? Um, Mario Kart marathon, I thought that one was great. A Mario Kart marathon. What a great reward. That costs you nothing because she already owns Mario Kart. And then at her ultimate goal, it is spend the workout money. So I hope that helped. Did that give you any other additional suggestions? Um, I think she's got great ideas. She's hopefully she's reward driven and it helps her continue on the path that she wants to go on. I have to figure out how and if I want to reward myself too, because for me, my mindset currently, I'm like, well, I like rewards. I like prizes for doing things and achieving things, right? Um, but also I feel like for me, because I'm doing it differently, because I'm going the coach route this time, that like the coach, hiring my coach is the reward. You know, like putting forth the money to invest in myself, to do the thing the right way, and to buy myself the accountability that I know I need in order to succeed. Like that is also that is the means to my end, but it is also the reward for my efforts. Like I'm willing to put forth the investment to reach this goal. So that in and of itself is kind of the reward for me, but also, I mean, I could get 10 pounds in and be like, "You know what? Spa day." I don't know. That's kind of just where my head is at now. Um, but it's interesting to think about. I don't know. Are y'all rewards driven or do you like or is like the thing, the accomplishment, is that the reward? Because and I've read somewhere before and I can't remember where. This was a long time ago, but like you really shouldn't need to reward yourself for weight loss because the weight loss is the reward, you know? And I'm like, and that makes total sense. But also, I like nice things. That's that's just how I am. Like, I like nice things. And so having an excuse to buy nice things is always fun, you know, or do something special is always fun. But I want the mentality to be there that like the results are the reward. Like, because if you think about it, let's think about for me, and if y'all want to talk about something else, jump in with something else. But no one's talking, so I'm just gonna keep on talking. I'm bad at rewards because I'll just give myself the reward. You are not the only one, and I am also like I'm totally like that too. I'll be like, well, I'll just buy this thing anyway, and then I buy it because I can. So. So it doesn't really work that way, which is why I think for me the mindset shift has to be that the results are the reward. And if you think about the cut in its entirety, what are some of the rewards that I can acknowledge along the way? I'm going to have I want to obtain a couple new cookbooks so I can cook new recipes. So I will have new recipes in my arsenal. I will be fueling my body well. I will have more energy. That will be a reward. I will be getting smaller. That will be a reward. I will be revealing the muscles that I've been working so hard to build, and that will be a reward. I will be able to move easier. I will continue to grow in terms of strength and mobility and all of these things. And of course, like seeing the number on the scale go down, it's nice. Getting the clothes that are a little bit tight to fit again, also nice. Um, all of these things are built-in rewards that you get automatically, but only if you do the work. So, like, in and of themselves, they are the best rewards for doing the things, right? Am I crazy? Am I making sense? Um, I'm terrible at rewarding myself. I either decide I don't deserve it or I'll get the thing anyway because my reward is something I actually need. Yeah. Sometimes I find it hard to reward myself for something I'm supposed to do. Yeah. And so that's why I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what the reward structure will be. If there will be a reward structure, I don't know. I reward myself with workout clothes or something, knowing my clothes have holes in them and need to be replaced. Yep. I like rewards because I'm impatient and they keep me going. Yes, and that's another thing. And so yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a reward because I told myself if I did enough dance classes, I could get new jazz and ballet shoes. But I also wanted to make sure I'd actually do it before I spent the money on the shoes. That's a great way to do it. That's absolutely a great way to do it. If you do this much, you can. And I'm sure I'm certain my husband has given me an ultimatum like that too. I can't remember for what exactly, but he's like, "Look, if you use the entirety of what we have, we can buy X." Right? Like that's what it is. Like I wanted to get here's a good example. Kind of. It's not really a reward. It just a happenstance, but it's the same idea. Like we don't need we don't need the Ninja Foodie grill thing. We don't need that because we have an air fryer, we have a grill, we don't blah 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 blah. So I'm like, but I want it. I wanted to try it, blah 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 blah. My air fryer died. So I got to order the thing that I wanted because it also has air frying capabilities. I wanted a new blender just because the blender is so old. Finally, the blender's starting to make questionable noises, so I was rewarded with, "Okay, go ahead and buy your new bullet blender because we make smoothies all the time." Not the same, but, like, kind of the same, like, I can't remember the example. He's like, "Use this. Show me that you use all of these things, and I will happily buy you more, but you have to show me you will use them first." Mm. I'm hyper competitive, so I need to be in a challenge with someone. It's the momentum that drives me. Competing with myself just doesn't cut it. I make too many allowances when I'm done. So you might be an obliger. You might be an obliger. Because the competitive nature also will breed accountability for you. If you're competing with somebody, you are accountable to somebody else. As opposed to if you're not competing with anybody, you're like, meh. That's a very obliger mentality, which is not a bad thing. It's what I am. It's why I hire a coach because I need the accountability. Um, like a task list is seen every day to help you. Weighing should be every day too. Yep. Reward yourself for following the habits you've set. Meet calorie and or macros. Move a certain amount versus how much weight you've lost and you have less control over. Yeah, that's exactly it. I end up just buying the thing I was going to reward myself. Man, we got a lot of self-rewarders up in here. um, wasn't it use up your tea? It might have been use up my tea. It might have absolutely been use up my tea. I love how excited you get whenever you tell someone they're an obliger. I mean, it's an exciting thing because understanding yourself better is huge. It's huge, right? Like, I, for the longest time, thought that I was an upholder, but it wasn't because I was an upholder. It's because I wanted to be an upholder. But when I retook the test and realized I was an obliger, it opened up the reality of what I need to succeed. And now that I know what I need to succeed, I can put the tools in place to make sure I succeed. And that is a very empowering thing. Does it suck to be an obliger? Yes, it does. But if you know you're an obliger, you know how to work with your personality, which reminds me, y'all, for those of you that were there this morning, we were talking about the 16 personalities. And Kim, I need you on this. Because I retook the test today and I got a different result. I retook the test while I was listening to music and literally like gut decisions. I didn't even think before I clicked. There were a couple of answers I changed because I'm like, oh, actually, it's probably more this, but most of them were gut reactions. And instead of being the adventurer, ISFP, I was the defender, ISFJ. So I only changed one thing. I'm still ISF, but I was J. And apparently I am also the -T. I'm the turbulent one instead of the assertive one. And this one is the defender, which sort of makes sense. As I was reading it, I was like, this sounds very Enneagram 9 of me. So Kim, remind me what yours was because you and I were off by only one letter. And I'm wondering if it is the letter that changed for me today because that would be hilarious. um, I totally agree. It's exciting. Knowledge is power. It's like if the team wins, you all go out for ice cream to celebrate. If the team loses, you all go out for ice cream, no matter what you get the reward. Yeah. I think we make our rewards something that we need versus something that we want. Sorry, I have to yawn. ISFJT. Is that what I just said? ISFT. You are kidding. We're the same. Oh my gosh, we are the same. That is so funny. That's so the reason I'm laughing for those of you that weren't at the Merry Morning Show this morning, Kim is an Enneagram 9. I am an Enneagram 9. And so we bonded over being Enneagram 9s. And then today, when we were talking about the personality types, we were off by one letter. And so I started wondering if Enneagram and personality type matched up or not. And so it's hilarious to me that I changed to her thing. I took the test after the chat. I retook the test and said I am INFP, but I've always gone back for INFP and INFJ. That's interesting. It was so interesting. So something that was interesting, I was like, oh, am I really this though? Because it talked about like, I can't even remember what it said because there was some of it that made me go, is this really me though? If I can protect you, I will. Maybe. Fun fact, Queen Elizabeth II is a INF, whatever I am, ISFJ. But here are the defender's strengths. They are supportive. They are reliable and patient. They are imaginative and observant. They are enthusiastic. When the goal is right, defenders take all this support, reliability, and imagination and apply it to something they believe will make a difference in people's lives. They are loyal and hardworking. They have good practical skills. Their weaknesses. This is where I went, oh, maybe I am this one. Humble and shy. Okay, so I am not. I sometimes I'm humble, sometimes I'm not. When it comes to being on stage, I'm not as humble, but I've actually learned how to develop that skill too. Takes things too personally. Defenders will have trouble separating personal and impersonal situations. Any situation is still an interaction between two people after all, and any negativity from conflict or criticism can carry over from their professional to their personal lives and back again. Ding, 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 ding. They repress their feelings. People with the defender personality type are private and sensitive, internalizing their feelings a great deal, which is also a big Enneagram 9 thing. Much in the way that defenders protect others' feelings, they must protect their own, and this lack of healthy emotional expression can lead to a lot of stress and frustration. They overload themselves. Their strong senses of duty and perfectionism combine with this aversion to emotional conflict to create a situation where it is far too easy for defenders to overload themselves or to be overloaded by others as they struggle silently to meet everyone's expectations, especially their own. I'm going to come back to the chat for a hot second because y'all, How long ago was it that I told you guys that, like, my biggest problem, the biggest reason that I experience overwhelm and thus go into obliger shutdown is my own expectations of myself. I admitted that to you guys not that long ago, that that was my big character flaw. Yes, I'm reading it from this website. Here, Kim, I'll send you the link. Um, oh, that was the first thing. Here's the strength and weaknesses. I will send you the link. Here's the link to my personality type specifically. Um, I read I mean, it would be nice if personality test wasn't in between answers. I'm gonna have to take that test. A while ago, I got ENFJ, then recently INFJ, but also took a specific extrovert introvert quiz and got ambivert. I fit the ambivert description perfectly. I am probably very close to an ambivert. I thrive in social situations, but the older I get, the more introverted I am. Like I need to reboot in silence, but I'm very good at putting on the face and going out, and I get recharged when, like, I meet new people or hang out with friends and do things with a crowd. Like, I not a big crowd. I don't like big crowds, but, yes. I'm 100% an introvert, yes. Reluctant to change. These challenges can be particularly hard to address since the defender personalities value traditions and history highly in their decisions. Did I not just say at the beginning of this that the reason that I'm like, let's not stay in Florida through January and go back to Minnesota where I'm going to freeze my butt off is because I need to be in my routines and my way and my thing? Hmm. Too altruistic. Altruistic. This is all compounded and reinforced by the defenders' otherwise wonderful quality of altruism. Being warm, good natured people, defenders are willing to let things slide, to believe that things will get better soon, to not burden others by accepting their offers of help while their troubles mount unassisted. I feel like this ISFJ is just an Enneagram 9. I feel like they're the same. They are the same, which would explain why Kim and I are both ISFJs. ISFJ. I have to remember that. I can never remember what it is. ISFJ. Um, so, for my friends who were hanging out with me this morning, I thought you might find that interesting that I'm actually not the adventurer, which is what I thought, but I am in fact the defender. Other defenders you may know: Beyonce, Aretha Franklin. Let's see what other good ones. Kate Middleton, Anne Hathaway, Catelyn Stark, interesting. Dr. Watson and Captain America. Will Turner from Pirates of the Caribbean, and Brie Vandekamp from Desperate Housewives. Fun. Fun. Unfocused. Mediators. Imaginative, introspective nature doesn't always lend itself to productivity. Many mediators get frustrated by how difficult they find it to buckle down and get things done. Well, if that's not you. um, The problem isn't that they're incapable, rather, it's that they run into problems when they become so caught up in the different ideas and ideals that they fail to commit to a course of action. Yep, that sounds like you. That definitely sounds like you. Oh, man. So I thought that would be fun to share. Oh, need to take a breather. I've been real excited about all of our conversation topics this evening, y'all. We have about 10 minutes left. Is there anything that we have not touched on that you would like me to touch on this evening? I don't think I have anything else exciting to share, um, except make sure for those of you that are digging the live streams, the morning show, the Merry Morning Show, is happening at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central Time, every weekday for the next 3 weeks. Up until the weekend before Christmas, where I'm going back to Illinois, just as something fun for us to do, get together and chat in the morning. It's going to be really interesting because I'm not sure what I'm going to chat about tomorrow because I've chatted to y'all. So anybody who shows up tomorrow, come with something for me to talk about. Do you track your water or just drink all day? Lately, I've just been drinking all day, but I do make mental note of how many of these I've had. I think this is only my, no, this is my fourth one today. When I'm doing like full on thorough tracking, which I tracked my food today. I don't know why I'm not tracking my water. I do track my water. Fun fact, for Christmas, I did ask for the Hydrate Spark water bottle, which should, in theory, if I get one, track my water for me. So what I normally do, April, and because you've come back recently, at home I have a gallon water bottle that I fill up every single morning, and it lives on my counter. And then I just refill this bottle throughout the day or whatever vessel I'm drinking out of. And so my tracking is I drink until that water bottle is empty, and I know I've consumed my gallon of water. That is how I track my water. Um, I made the choice to not bring the gallon water bottle with me because we were trying very hard to be succinct about what we put in the car for the drive down to Florida. So I just brought this and I'm like, I'll be mindful and keep mental notes. I haven't been keeping mental notes, but I'm making sure that like if I'm thirsty, I'm pounding water. And as long as my pee is the right color. If my pee is not the right color, I will be like, "Oh shoot," and I will go and I will pound some water as well. So I'm making sure I'm at the very least I'm not dehydrated. Most days I get in at least 4 or 5 of these, which should be at least 100 ounces. So, um, I can always pull out the book of questions. They have some really new fun hydrate. I know they have the iridescent ones, and I did like send an email to the family members that got a Christmas list for me, and I'm like, so they just released these iridescent ones, and if anyone's planning on getting one for me, I would love one of these iridescent ones. If I don't get a hydrate water spark water bottle for Christmas, I will probably just buy one myself, and then I can pick whichever one I want, and it's fine. I won't be heartbroken if I don't get the sparkly one, but it would be really cool if I did get the sparkly one because girls got to glitter. Girls got to, I mean, hello. I literally am carrying around a Starbucks bottle that's covered in sequins. Um, so yes, water always. Y'all, I had to resist the urge to sorry, I thought I heard my dog out there. I had to resist the urge to order tea from a different tea company today. I became very, very close to ordering from Tea Pigs because the fashion, I don't want to call her an influencer. What is she? She's a stylist. She is the person that I purchased this annual subscription to. Like I'm in her Rise Through Style Society. She's doing Vlogmas this year on her YouTube channel. And so she did Vlogmas Day 1 today. And so I was watching it because, Vlogmas, which PS, if you haven't watched Vlogmas for my video today, please go watch it because why not? And comment on it. I would love some engagement on the videos. It would really help me out. And I love having conversations with all the Christmas things. Although how much of it was Christmas in this last video, I don't know. Oh, it was Thanksgiving. It was festive. It was festive. It was short, but it was festive. What was I saying? Christy Reisel, I think is her name. Um, is her name is Christy for sure. I just don't know how to pronounce her last name. She's in Canada. She was talking about tea advent calendars, and she said something about how the David's tea advent calendar is terrible, but she missed out on ordering the one from Tea Pigs. And I was like, I have heard of Tea Pigs, but I have never ordered Tea Pigs. So of course, me and my impulsive nature goes on the Tea Pigs website, and I see all of the flavors for Christmas, and I like immediately added 2 to my cart, and then I was like, "You don't need any more tea. You literally don't need any more tea. Stop it." And I was like, "Here's the bargain. Use up what you have, and your next fancy tea order can be from Tea Pigs." Oh, don't tell me that, Kim. Are they really? Are they really very good? They had some flavors like they had gingerbread. They had this breakfast pancakes tea that was sold out, and I'm sad because I wanted to try that. It sounded really good. But like, okay, that's 2 endorsements for it in one day. Like, is it okay? Is it better than David's? Kim, I got you into David's tea. How good is the Tea Pigs? Because I'm very intrigued by their flavors, and I'm not loyal to David's tea. If you find me a delicious tea company, I will try it. And especially because I'm gearing up for like winter, So like I got this new kettle. I got this new kettle because our old kettle was getting burnt out. So I'm ready to like just have water boiling all the live long day and just be drinking tea instead of plain water because warmth. Warmth on the hands. That was me holding a hot cup and feeling the warm sensation on my freezing cold hands. That's what that's what that was. Um, oh, that's so exciting. Yeah. So I want to try tea pigs. Sounds good. Sounds good. They had some really, really they had one called Glühwein, which if you've ever been to a Christkindl market, I don't There's gotta be there's Christkindl markets, like, in other places in the United States, right? It's not just a Chicago thing. But it's the German little Christmas thing that pops up in Chicago, and you go and you get Glühwein, which is the hot mulled wine, and it's real good. And they even had that as a tea flavor, and I was like, "Well, that is super specific and festive, and I'm not mad about it. I like it." So, I did not order the tea pigs, but I wanted to order the tea pigs. I will order tea pigs at some time. Maybe that will be a reward to myself. And you know what it's going to be a reward for? Finishing the David's tea. That's what it's going to be a reward for. Because otherwise, if it's a reward for literally anything else, like y'all said, I will be able to justify just buying it because I can. And so I need to have like a legit, like, finish this, then you can order this. Yes, but different than David's. David's more fruity, Tea Pigs is more traditional. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Um, traditional, so, like, is it not quite as flavored? Oh, that makes me question things. Because I don't love just plain tea. I don't love that. The reason I like David's and the reason I did Tivana and everything, I like the flavored teas. I love the concept of teas, but I like fruity teas. I like all that. I've like even I'll do um celestial seasonings. Like I can go to the grocery store and buy their herbal teas. That's not a big deal. But I don't love just like plain Lipton tea. That's not my jam. So are you saying that it's more like plain Lipton tea with a little bit of flavor? Like I've heard it's good. And like maybe it's worth trying. It's definitely worth trying. I just took the test. That's the word. It's less flavored. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Now it's not bad because some of the David's teas are like almost artificially flavored. I mean, they're probably all artificially flavored, but, like, you know what I mean? So, like, maybe it's not bad. I'll try it. In 2022, I will try tea pigs and let y'all know. Plain Lipton tea is awful. Yes. Yes. And that's what made me go originally, I'm like, "I don't like tea. This is gross." I can't remember. Actually, yes, I can. Um, Throat Coat by Traditional Medicinals is the first tea that I learned to like, and it's because I'm a singer and I needed it. I needed it, and now that I'm thinking about it, my throat's like, "You know what you could really go for right now? Some Throat Coat." Throat Coat does not taste good unless you have acclimated to the flavor. It's not like a delicious flavored tea or anything like that. A lot of people actually think it's gross. I have been drinking it since my sophomore year of high school, so it is comfort in a glass to me. I love it. And I always have some in my house. There's not any here, and it kinda makes me sad, but I always have some in my house. Um, and so, like, that was, like I'm like, "Oh, not all tea tastes like the Lipton plain tea." And then I can't remember what got me started on like, flavored teas, fruity teas. But, once I started, I'm like, I like this. It's a great I was a tea drinker before I was a coffee drinker. Um but only flavored herbal teas, and that doesn't have to be herbal, but flavored teas. Um, you like tea that doesn't taste like tea, and I like coffee that doesn't taste like coffee. It needs to taste more like a dessert. See, I love my coffee to taste like coffee. I don't like it. It has to be have a little bit of cream in it, so even if it's just a little bit of half and half. But I like my coffee to taste like coffee. I use flavored nut pods, but they're unsweetened, so there's no sugar, no, it's just creamy and a little bit of like minty goodness because I'm using the peppermint mocha one right now. But the bolder my coffee is, the better, the better. Um, which is why I'm really glad that I'm using the holiday blend from Starbucks because that is what is in available at Sam's Club. And while it is a medium roast coffee, it is the medium roast version of the coffee. It is dark enough where it passes as a dark roast tea in our house, which is great. Um, Tess Tetley tea. We used to bring our own when we went to the US. Oh, interesting. I bought that throat coat. Yeah, yeah. I love it, but at least I give y'all the warning, right? If you buy it because of me, you ain't gonna like it, but your throat will. Your throat will love it. I promise you that. And maybe you'll acclimate to the flavor like I did. I thought it was disgusting at first, but now I love it. Oh, I love it so much. Um, But I'm weird. I'm weird, and I'm a vocalist, so, like, anything that is for especially, like, in high school and college, my throat was the most important thing, like, this had to be in tip-top shape all the time, and throat coat was a huge part of that. I love black coffee and plain tea, no sweeteners or milk or cream. I never put milk or cream in my tea. I never do that. That kind of weirds me out, and I can't tell you why it weirds me out. 'Cause at first I'm like, "Oh, because it's water-based, like, tea is just leaves steeped in water, but coffee is literally beans steeped in water." So, like, I don't know why I have such a emotional dilemma with putting cream in my tea. I have no idea, but I always drink it, plain. Strong, stronger, strongest coffee. Yeah. Give me the strongest coffee. Mm. Mm. Tazo Joy Tea. Oh, okay. Try Booze Reindeer Blend. It's a dark road. Oh, from Caribou Coffee? Okay. Oh, the reindeer blend. Good to know. Good to know. It'll probably be out of season by the time I get back. Um, because believe it or not, I know how long have you lived in Minnesota, Marie? There are like in Target, if you go to Target in Minnesota, Caribou Coffee is where it's at. If you go shopping here, or I haven't looked here specifically, but like in Illinois, I was at Target and I can't was I gonna pick up Caribou? I don't remember. I was looking at the coffee selections and Caribou was nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. In Minnesota, there are 50 different versions of Caribou coffee on the Target shelves, but not in Minnesota, there's not, which I thought was very interesting to me. Um, I also love Tazo Refreshment. I've had the Refresh, and I also love the Tazo Passion Tea. The Passion Iced Tea is what got me into, iced tea. So that might have actually been my gateway into flavored teas, actually. Born and raised in Duluth. Okay. Okay, yeah. So, Caribou coffee is real popular in Minnesota, but less so the further south you go. Hmm, interesting. All of these things I will have to look into. And in a couple of months, we will have to relive the tea conversation because I'm not allowed to buy any more teas until I get through probably at least 80% of the teas that are currently sitting in my house. I literally have two containers, like of the plastic organizational containers that I bought for various rooms in my house. I have two of them full of tea, full of tea, which will be wonderful, like I said, for this winter. But not gonna be buying tea for a while. I almost did it today, and the justification was they come in packets, so I don't like because I don't have any of my loose tea tools here, but I could have a tea packet. That was gonna be my justification for tea pegs. I typically buy ground. I have the coffee grinder, but I'm typically buy ground because it's easy. Because it's easier. If I had one of the coffee makers that had the grinder that would automatically do it, and here's why. I do it because I set up the coffee maker at night, and I know I could do the ground coffee at night and everything too. But I just in terms of price and everything too, I just buy the ground Starbucks coffee. And like if I'm buying special coffee for myself, I'll buy whole bean. Now, I went to Costco, and at Costco, they did not have any ground Starbucks coffee. So I had to buy whole bean winter blend. And so I did spend one evening fresh grinding the winter blend Costco size Starbucks coffee to fill up my coffee canister because it was not ground. So normally I buy ground, but I'm not opposed to buying whole bean. Our kitchen needs a overhaul, and this is such like a first world problem to have. But like in our next home, if and when we move to a bigger place, hopefully a bigger place, hopefully with a bigger kitchen, I'm gonna do like the whole. I my perfect world. I have like the coffee bar set up, right? So I have of the drip coffee maker. This is in my perfect world. This is in my perfect world. That will it be a reality? I don't know, but this is my perfect world. Drip coffee maker, my coffee canister, my Ray Dunn coffee canister. The other thing that's currently sitting there is the soda stream. an espresso machine. I would love an espresso machine for a little extra something fancy and the coffee grinder. And it can just all sit there so I can pick my poison, right? If I want fresh ground, if I want Nespresso, if I like, and it's all just there on the counter in this beautiful little coffee bar setup, and everything would be hunky dory. That would be, but like right now we don't have um, the counter space for it to be practical, and I'm not gonna dig out the grinder every day, which is why we do whole bean right now. Or not whole bean, ground. You should brew some tea for live streams and have a tea of the month. Not a bad idea. You got apple juice instead of water with the tea? Huh, interesting. Get it at Starbucks and they dilute with water. Swap that out, add extra water for apple juice. Huh. Are your ears still ringing? The grinders are noisy. Grinders are noisy. I want coffee maker that auto grinds so I can start scheduling my coffee. Yeah, and that would be an optimal thing too. Bree wants a Starbucks in her house. Lordy, yes, and can it come with a barista? Like, oh, wouldn't that be awesome? Yes, and then I could dictate like the unsweetened almond milk would be the clean almond milk, and then I'd have the I could run my own Starbucks, man. It'd be super simple, but it'd be real healthy. I think Marie and I instilled the virtues of an espresso. Oh, I know. Y'all, it's on my Christmas list. It's on my Christmas list. So we'll see if Santa Claus brings me one. Um, so I might I might have one sooner than you think. I might not. I don't know. But it is one of two appliances I put on my Christmas list. One was the Nespresso and one was the almond cow. Those were the 2, like, big things other than Lego sets because I'm actually 10 years old. I have stupid expensive Lego sets on my list, but my 2, like, big things were those 2 appliances. What's your take on seltzer sparkling water? I love this no, I don't love this stuff. I drink it every once in a while. Has to be Waterloo for me. I don't like LaCroix. But strawberry Waterloo is my favorite. It's fine. Um, it's fine. It's fine. It's better than Diet Coke. Like, as long as you get the stuff, like, that doesn't have any artificial junk in it. If it's water and flavoring, now natural flavors are a thing in and of themselves, and in the whole clean eating journey, which will be mostly resumed once I get home, like, the person that I follow says, "Don't drink that because there's other, like, chemically things in there." Look, if you're gonna have a vice and it has to be fizzy, and you can't drink champagne all day long, um, I'd rather have sparkling water, seltzer water, than any of the diet sodas or any of the regular sodas. Like, sparkling water is not gonna kill you, you know? My husband drinks it all the time because I managed to talk him out of diet soda. He had a diet soda habit just like his mother has, and, I was able to talk him out of it, and he hasn't had one in years, but he drinks sparkling water, and that's how he gets that something different in his mouth, you know? Maybe I should just get some decaf Nespresso pods or something. I really wanna drink more coffee. I'm just too lazy to do pour over every day. Ah, yes, yes. Um, Not surprising that I got it wrong. I don't think it was me. I have a Well, someone else had an espresso. Everybody I ask says Nespresso is the jam. So we'll see. I'll keep you all posted. You'll know in the next live stream whether or not I have an espresso machine. And actually, speaking of that, because oh my gosh, we are 7 minutes over. How did we do that? Um, the next live stream, y'all. Whew, as long as it wasn't the 4th. Should be Wednesday, January 5th. 2022. So, as crazy as that sounds, um, that'll be our next live stream, and I'll give you all the updates. We'll talk about all the things, and it'll be great. And on that note, I think I'm gonna let y'all go because I'm already way over on time. I don't even know how that happened, but thank you, thank you, thank you for hanging out with me this evening. This was so much fun, such great conversation. I appreciate every single one of you so very much. And April, I'll see you in the morning. Yes, please come join me for the Merry Morning Show tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central Time. And Merry Christmas. Yes, Merry Christmas. And I'll see you all on Instagram and during Vlogmas and all the things. Don't be strangers. I love you all. Talk to you later.